What is good, gangy? We are back for season two, count 'em 1, 2 of Culinarily Kwan with me, your boy, Kwan, Don Kwan. Honestly, it's been a nice little break, getting ready for the new year and getting the new year started. I'm really excited for what's to come. Season one was really all about our culinary friends in the culinary world, and season two is all about our local gardeners, farmers. We're talking about holistic health, sustainability, things of that sort, all season long. And I'm really excited to introduce our first guest here tonight. I'm a big fan. We're going to talk about, how long I've been a fan and what he's been able to do for us amateur gardeners. And so I'm just going to go ahead without further ado and bring him on, Mr. Andre the Farmer. I hate how long it takes to load in because I never know if I clicked it right.
Hey
There it
man,
is.
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
Good.
First and foremost, I really appreciate you taking the time to join me tonight.
Oh, no problem. I'm honored to be here.
Oh man. Okay. So as I was just saying, it's actually um surprising. I'm sure it would be to know how long I've been, following your journey and the research that I've done without even realizing it. You've been a mentor to myself as I've been on my journey. I have a 501(c)(3) nonprofit where I teach members of the community about urban gardening and sustainability and farming. And it's just like, if I always have to reference your TikTok videos, man, and have to push them towards your side because like this guy really knows what he's talking about. And as someone who went to culinary school in Orlando, I do have friends out there as well that are interested in gardening, and I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you, you guys need to follow this guy and see what he's got going on. Um,
Well, thank you. I
and
appreciate that.
Absolutely. And one thing that I really do enjoy about your content is that um, through doing the research, your first life choice isn't even as a gardener. You're a doctor.
Yeah, yeah. I'm an orthodontist
Absolutely.
actually. Yeah,
Uh, and so you really are just the everyman gardener. It's easy to follow. The knowledge is super clear, super simple. It doesn't take, an advanced mindset to try to get into what you teach because you put on for the majority of us who may have never even picked up a shovel before or anything like that or sown a seed or anything.
yeah, yeah. I always wanted to be a biology teacher.
Mhm.
So, I think teaching is something that I love. And I also, like, I started gardening about 8 years ago. And I just planted a mango tree. And I knew nothing about it at all at the time. So it's very easy for me to put myself in other people's shoes. And I know what it's like to not know the stuff because, I was, 40 something years old. I didn't know the stuff. So whenever I'm explaining things or trying to illustrate a point, I try to be as sort of plain and simple as possible because I know not everybody's coming from the place that I've gotten to. Even when I'm doing dentistry and I'm explaining stuff to patients, I never use big words that
Right.
are like technical words. I try to break it down. Like, sometimes one of my staff will say, hey, we got an IB or a D bond. I'm like, hey, you can't use those words around patients. They don't know what those things mean. Tell them you're getting your braces on or you're getting your braces off.
Right.
Simple little things like that. And I feel like that's what I think people relate to because like you said, it is easy to understand. And most things in life are simple and we just make them way more complicated than they need to be.
Absolutely. And yourself, when you were learning about how to garden and things like that, YouTube University, right? Like it's
Yeah,
one of
a
those
lot of
things
YouTube
like,
videos. Like I watched every garden tour that I could. Like literally, like if it was had to do with permaculture, food forest, Florida, tropical fruit trees, I was watching that video. And and I would always go check YouTube to see when like I adjust the date thing so you could see like
right.
what's new videos are released. Like, is there
Absolutely.
anything I haven't watched yet? Anything I haven't watched yet?
Man, and so your specialty is grafting and air layering, correct?
Yeah.
Uh
Fruit trees in general. That's kind of my main thing.
Absolutely. And so when it comes to grafting and air layering, how did you, is that just what you found were the most fun and interesting for you in general, or was that just a lot of trial and error and you were just like, you know what, like I really enjoy putting these things or recreating these plants itself? Because you know, when a lot of people think of planting and gardening, their grafting is just not even something that they even think about until way later down the line.
Well, I think that I am fascinated by the ability to sort of combine one tree with another,
Hmm.
or clone a tree and things like that. And also, I feel like I'm relatively lazy in the sense that, like, I don't like doing stuff I don't like doing, and it's so much easier for me to plant a tree and harvest fruit, as opposed to tending a raised bed and planting and tilling and all that stuff. Like, I still have like 9 or 10 raised beds, so don't get me wrong, I'm still
Right.
doing that stuff too. But my real joy is the trees. Just the simplicity of the trees. And I feel like the reward, like, I like fruits more than I like vegetables too. So,
Right.
so I think that works out pretty good too.
Absolutely. And so for some of those viewers who are watching, would you be able to just give us a quick rundown on what permaculture is?
So permaculture is a very sort of strange term. Like, so my shirt is Permaculture Life is my company that I started.
Right.
It's a sustainably sourced apparel company, and so this shirt's made from bamboo.
Nice.
But permaculture is all about sustainability, and there's sort of three main sort of pillars of permaculture. There's earth care, people care, and yeah, yeah. I can't remember the third
No
pillar.
worries.
But anyways, it's all about sustainability. And it's not just sustainability in a garden. So there's a
Mhm.
gardening aspect to it, but it goes for all things. So a lot of times on these permaculture groups or websites, you'll see a lot of political stuff on there. And people will be like, "Oh, I don't come here for that. I come here for gardening." And then people will come back and say, "Listen, permaculture is not just gardening. It's all about permanent cultures. So if you have a culture of oppression or a culture that's unfair, oh, fair share is the last one. Fair share, people care, and earth care.
Got it.
Um, so you have a system that's unfair, then that's not permaculture, because that's not something that can be permanent. It's not a culture that can be maintained. So pretty much, the part that I really focus on is the gardening part, obviously, but it's more encompassing that. So anytime someone is doing anything sustainable or
Mhm.
working with nature instead of working against nature, that's permaculture. So if you have a butter container and you plant a plant in that, you're doing permaculture. You're reusing something, you're repurposing it instead of tossing it into a landfill, right? Working with nature instead of against nature. So if I have a hill in the back of my yard, and I
Mhm.
have a lake behind it, and instead of sort of lugging water all the way up the hill to, say, water a banana plant that needs a lot of water, you plant that banana plant down near the water, so it's getting water all the time. Those are sort of permaculture principles. But
Absolutely. I love that.
yeah, but it's kind of like, a lot of people have their own sort of definition of it, but it's kind of a bit amorphous as a thing. But
Nice. And so that's honestly and truly, I think permaculture is kind of the, as you were saying, like it's the goal for any gardener, like and just reuse, use the three R's, and make use of what we already have. Um, One big thing that I really wanted to highlight about your presence on social media is that rather than having followers, you build a community. So you're on TikTok with groups of people live at the same time, all engaging in conversation and talking. Even if you're just hanging out, and I think in a video or in a live that I was in with you guys as well, you were talking about your sauce brand. Um, and like you were just like doing your own thing, and everybody was kind of just talking and inputting their own feedback and things of that sort. And even without talking directly to you, they were able to engage with each other, and it's just like utilizing your platform to engage with one another. And that's something that you don't see somebody with a high follow count really do very often, is engage with their followers on that kind of an intimate level.
well, so we have a very close community.
Hmm.
Like my followers, and it's not like a tight community where new people can't come in.
Right.
Like, anybody that wants to come in can come in. It's wide open. And I mean, like, we had a fishing trip. We did a TikTok fishing trip where we took like
Wow.
I rented a whole boat. We had 50 people, and we had people come from New York. People came from all over the place down to Florida for this TikTok fishing trip, and it was amazing. We had a great time. We went out fishing all day. People met each other. I've had two people from my lives that met on my lives. Two ladies. They went on a cruise together
Wow.
this year. You know, like it's really a community. Like I feel like I have legitimate friends that are followers like through social media. Like it's not just like, you know, followers. Like these are actual people that are friends. Yep,
Absolutely.
yep. New people are always welcome. Yep.
And I just it's honestly amazing. And for somebody that started off, it all started with a mango.
Start
Like you
with a
wanted to
mango.
grow a
Yeah.
mango. For somebody who started with just wanting to grow a mango, it's like you're you're the hub for information at this point for a lot of people. I saw somebody in one of the comments down here. They were like, "Do you have any organic olive fly treatment remedies?" And it's just like you've come so far, and it's like, and for grand scheme, not a very long time. And so it's like it's been years, but I think it's been under a decade, no?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've been gardening for about 8 years, but the social media thing is probably, I want to say maybe 4 years
Hmm.
now. And let me tell you how I started with the
For sure.
social media. Because, first I just had trees and stuff like that. And I really wasn't a big social media person. And then I went to dinner with a friend of ours and his wife. And she was telling me how someone sent her free boots because she's on Instagram and she had like 3,000 followers. So I'm thinking, I got a pretty big garden. I should be able to get free boots too.
Right.
So that's what made me start the Instagram to start off with. And then, it was really slow. And then I had a patient that told me, hey, if you want to build your Instagram, you have to go on TikTok. And I was like, oh, TikTok is just a bunch of kids. It's just nonsense. Well, I got to do all that stuff. And eventually I started the TikTok. And I feel like in order to have a following, because I truly believe that you have to be lucky to build a following like I have. If I had to start all over again, I don't know if I would be able to build the same following over again because I don't know if lightning would hit twice.
Right.
But it's kind of like, I don't know if you ever heard of Malcolm Gladwell.
Malcolm Gladwell, I have not.
He writes some amazing books. He's a black sociologist. He writes these amazing books. Everyone's a bestseller, but he wrote one called Tipping Point, and it talks about how there are so many things in this world that are equally good, and only some of them make it, and it's because they hit a tipping point. And like there's like like Harry Potter, for example. Like Harry
Mhm.
Potter there's probably 1,000 novel series for kids that are as good as Harry Potter,
Right.
but they just never hit a tipping point where the whole world
Right.
wanted them, right?
Right.
And I feel like with social media, you have to hit a tipping point and then everything just sort of snowballs on itself. So 'cause I see creators all the time that are much better than me. They know more than me. Their videos are more polished than my videos. They're better looking than me. They got all the things in the world, but they don't have the traction because they just haven't hit that tipping point. And fortunately, I was lucky enough to hit the tipping point, and yeah, you definitely must read. Yeah, all the books are must reads. But yeah, so lucky out left, I was able to hit the tipping point, and from there, now it just sort of builds on itself. Um, I hate to give you a million analogies, but I'm a little older than you. Do you remember Sean Kemp?
I do.
Okay, there was so much hype about Sean Kemp in the dunk
Absolutely.
contest that no matter
Absolutely.
what he did, he's 7 feet tall, and no matter what dunk he did, he was getting 50.
100%.
Right? Right now, once you have a following like that, you become a bit of a Sean Kemp, where regardless of how good your videos are, you're getting 50s,
Right.
right?
Right. And even with like the community that I'm trying to build at the moment right now, I sometimes receive messages in my DMs, like those messages that are just like, hey, we can promote your page if you'd like, and it's this and a third, and it's like I want to build a community as well, and I want it to be organic. I want the people who are here to actually feel like they're here with me, and the people that also follow me are able to engage with one another. Like you said, like I really do want it to be just a community of people who enjoy food and the people who enjoy plants and gardening. And that kind of segues me into PlantCon. I really, really would like to get into how when you, as a beginning gardener turned farmer, like when did PlantCon come onto your radar? And then between that time and the time that you first got asked to join PlantCon, what did that look
Okay,
like?
well, I wouldn't say that I've joined PlantCon, but I did a workshop at
Right.
PlantCon and I had a table at PlantCon. This was my first con of any kind ever.
Okay.
Um, PlantCon, I'm not sure if they reached out to us or we reached out to them, but I also have a gardening community or a gardening
Hmm.
school. And my partner in that is Gray. He's Urban Gardening with Gray.
Okay.
And he's amazing. He's one of those guys that I'm talking about whose stuff is so much better than mine, but he doesn't have the following that I
Right.
have. But he has a pretty decent following. And he's sort of my co-instructor in the school that we have. We have an online school on school.com. It's called Better Gardener.
Mhm.
Um, and he's the one who told me about PlantCon. And I'm not sure if they reached out to him or he reached out to them, but they wanted us to have a table and they wanted us to do a workshop. So we did the workshop. I did the grafting workshop there. I showed people how to graft. It was an amazing event. Like I had never even really knew that this existed, but it was really well done, and the amount of plants in there was incredible. Like the variety. Like I saw plants this big for like $100.
Wow.
Like they look like little tiny seedlings, like this big, like $100. And I don't know much about ornamental plants. I'm a food plant guy completely. So I learned a decent amount about ornamental plants that weekend. And we sold 130 something bottles of pepper sauce at
Nice.
PlantCon, which is really cool. Yeah, it was an amazing event. Like I would definitely go again. And PlantCon is basically like Comic Con for plants.
Absolutely. I've seen so much content on it just from this past weekend. I hate that I didn't get to attend. This was the first time this year is the first time I've heard of PlantCon actually.
Me
So
too.
just just like seeing all the people, and I've got like people that I spoke to as of last year when I kind of got the ball rolling. Like they've been traveling from the Midwest, to go down to PlantCon, and I was like, oh, this is really like not a Florida thing. Like this is
Oh,
a con
yeah,
that
yeah. People
people.
were from California. My partner, Gray, he drove from Dallas.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's wild, man. And all the people that are around, I would say my age, even younger than me, and older, like it blows my mind how wide the demographic for being plant parents or gardeners or farmers is, because growing up, like you think of a farmer, you think of an old man with a straw hat and like, and he's just chilling with his plaid on, and it's just like the demographic of people,
yeah.
like there were so many people that were
Oh,
there and posting stuff that looked like you and I, and I'm
yeah.
just
There
like,
were so many
wow,
young
like
people. Like I don't know. I'm not sure your age. You're in your 20s.
27.
What's up? Yeah, yeah. I'm 54, so we're a little bit different age. But there were a lot of people that were young people. Like there were people that were way young. Most of the organizers, most of the volunteers were all very young people. It was very encouraging to see so many young people that are into gardening like that.
Yeah, I truly, like, I love it. And I think that Florida itself is it's a beautiful place to have something like that going on, because Florida, it's a world of its own,
Yeah.
I would say. Like you're not gonna find a plant con in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I tell
Well,
you
you know
that.
what? They're doing the next one in Houston,
Okay.
and then they're doing one in New York,
Hmm.
and then they're doing one in Dallas. And they do it multiple times a year. It's
Oh
not like a
wow.
once a year thing. Yeah.
Nice.
So they have the one in Dallas is in October, so I might go back for that one as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. That's so wild. When it comes to teaching and educating, I know you talked about your, what is it, Better Gardener?
Better Gardener.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the name of our.
it's a community that you guys have, and I was looking into that as well. It's you guys provide a lot for a little, and I greatly appreciate and respect that, because I think when I was listening to something that you were saying once was that if you made it accessible to only people with a lot of money, then those are the only people that would be able to
Right.
indulge in it.
Yeah. So listen, Better Gardener, and when I tell you like, um, it's not for the money at all because honestly, like I don't even know if I get money for it. Like honestly, to tell you the truth, like it's $10 a month for
Right.
membership, and there's
Right.
like a lot of administrative fees and stuff like that. And I have a guy who runs it, and he gets a portion. And I don't know, I think every now and then he puts like $30 in my PayPal account or something
Right.
like that. So it's not definitely not for the money. So what we do in Better Gardener is I have a call every Sunday, and every Sunday I go. It's a live like a Zoom call,
Hmm.
and our guy Jake sets it up, and we have a bunch of people on there. We talk about whatever topics or questions people have, whatever topics they're struggling with throughout the week or in their garden. We talk about that. We even do tours of people's garden, different people's garden. We actually, four of our members were at PlantCon. One flew in from New York. Um, One came from the Bahamas, and one was from Jacksonville, and one was local. But it's like a family. Like we went out to dinner. We went out to Thai afterwards. Me,
Right.
Gray, and the four people in the school. And then the last day, the last two people that were there, we went out to dinner to Bahama Breeze the next night.
Wow.
So it's really like a family. Like I feel like these people are friends. I don't feel like they're students in the school. And actually, a couple of the students are actually teaching classes. We have one lady, Jen. She teaches the ornamental plant class now, and we have a chef in there, Chef V. She teaches a little cooking class every once a month or so. So and Gray does his class on Thursday. So you're gonna get like one-on-one contact. You're also gonna get any questions you have about gardening. You can go directly to me. PlantCon in Houston. I'm not sure what the date is, but if you go to the PlantCon website, it'll have the dates.
Perfect, man. I love that. And so one of the things that I'm also like what we're trying to do is be a hub and a resource for people to experience different things. Like this Saturday, there is a farm here called Farms Helping Families, and they're doing a plant propagation class. And so, just the groundwork that I do within the community and my organization is also partnered with our local botanical gardens. So, we try to push everyone. It's like, hey guys, like we're having a plant propagation class at Farms Helping Families this weekend. However, also, we do horticulture classes at the botanical gardens as well. And so we have volunteers and expert master gardeners from the botanical gardens who are willing to come out and volunteer their time. And then me myself, like I love that there are so many people who are able to help and assist with the gardening. I'm on YouTube University as well all the time. But if we can grow it, I can cook it. So my whole thing is like teaching you like once we have the ingredients and the produce and things of that sort, like let's create a lot out of a little bit. And then a big thing that we do as well is that we're teaching our members of the community like let's teach you how to make fresh pasta because we're growing tomatoes. Like we have a lot of tomatoes out
Right.
here. And so it's like we'll make and process tomato sauce for you, and you already know how to make the fresh pasta because we went over that as well. We're teaching these guys how to make ricotta, mozzarella, things that really you don't really think about and not needing to buy. And I'm located in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I saw somebody ask, but yeah, just processing food is the backbone of what we're trying to do here so everyone can obtain like simple but nutrient dense meals for themselves and their families. But the gardening aspect is just something that I fell in love with accidentally. And so now here I am, just trying to trying to pick up where I
It's
can
addictive.
and learn all I can. Absolutely, 100%. Um, yeah, and so going forward with that, you're as a I don't want to call it dentist if it's not
Yeah,
dentist.
that
Like,
just is good enough.
okay, as
Yeah.
a as a dentist, how do you juggle, everything? Like, where do you find the time in the day to do all of these?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of hours in a day,
Mhm.
because gardening is not even like my number one hobby.
Wow. Okay.
Fishing is probably my number one hobby. I
Right.
do a lot of actually. I'm leaving tomorrow to go on a 4-day fishing trip. Actually, out in the
Wow.
Gulf, fishing, hunting. I used to play a lot of basketball. I don't play as much anymore. A little bit of golf, and
Hmm.
I also have a home in Mexico, so I'm back and forth between here and Mexico.
Wow.
I only work 3 days a week currently,
Hmm.
um, but I'm actually going to be moving that to 4 days a week in June, and I'm going to have 1 week off each month.
Nice.
And that I'm going to probably end up spending that time in Mexico. That's my retirement place. So um, yeah, but there's a lot of hours in a day. Like I always find time. Like literally, I like even this like today. Like this is how my day goes. So I go to the gym in the morning. I work out not every morning, but this morning I went to the gym, After that, I had community garden club at the elementary school. So I'm
Hmm.
straight. So I go home, take a shower, go there. Then I got to work. I work all day. At lunch, I have a meeting. Finish the day out. I just get home. And I literally came to the door to like do this like just
Wow.
immediately.
Oh man, I
My
appreciate that.
yeah, no problem, no problem. Then my buddy is on his way from Atlanta. He's driving up from Atlanta because he's going on the fishing trip with me tomorrow. And he just texted me he's off the turnpike. So he's supposed to get here at 7:30, and then we're gonna go to dinner. And then we gotta pack all the rest of our stuff for the fishing trip, and we gotta leave out tomorrow morning. So that's kind of how my days go. It's like one thing after
Yeah,
another
that's
thing. Like there's
wild.
not a lot of downtime.
Right. Man, I mean, it sounds like, with everything that you're doing, y- like, it's not even just having busy days, like you're making the most out of all of your hours. And I just, it's inspirational.
And
Um,
and you know what? And people think like I'm just. And I don't get you the impression that I'm like busy all the time. 'Cause I watch a lot of TV too.
okay.
Like I have time to do stuff. I watch a lot of TV, but my daylight hours, I value my daylight hours. I don't like wasting. Like, if I'm not working, I am not sitting around during daylight hours doing nothing. I'm in
Mhm.
the garden doing something, whatever the case may be.
Nice. Okay. I really want to get to, before we end here, the sauce, the pepper
Oh, the pepper
sauce.
sauce.
Um,
Can,
how
can,
did,
can, I,
how
can I
did
grab
that,
can I grab a bottle quick
can
just
you
to show you?
please? Absolutely. And I appreciate you guys being here with us. My name is Kwan, Chef Kwan, J Kwan, whatever you want to call it. Um, I love doing this. I do this once a week whenever we are filming for the seasons. This is season 2 right now, so we'll try to have a different guest on every week, once a week. So thanks for being here.
Sorry about that.
Not a
I should have had that prepared.
problem.
I didn't have a chance. But so this is the sweet and spicy pepper sauce. There's a hot and there's a not so hot version. Actually, both these are hot. So when we first put out our first batch, we made 1,800 bottles and those sold out. This is what the original label looked like.
Hmm.
And we have a one that says not so hot as well, which is a little less hot. And this is the new label with my picture on it,
Right.
and it still says hot. And then the one that's not so hot has a black top on it, just like this now. But so we have two versions. It is made with 9 different fruits and vegetables. There's pineapple, mango. I'm telling you, like this is like I always say, if you try it, you buy it. So we were at PlantCon, and there'll be people that will be walking by and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't eat pepper sauce, whatever." I say, "Just try it." And they come there, they try it on a chip, they're buying it. Like once you try it, like there are some things in this world that I think are like, you might like it, you might not like it. Like anchovies on
Right.
pizzas, maybe you like it, maybe you don't, right?
Hmm.
But this, telling you, you can't not like it. This is objectively good.
Right.
It's objectively good. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It
you
is
got some people
available for purchase
co-signing.
in Indianapolis. On the website, andrethefarmer.com. You can buy it anywhere in the United States. andrethefarmer.com. And we are going to be in a couple stores coming up real soon. So I'm excited about that as well. Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Uh,
Thank you.
did that come up with while you were gardening? You're just like, man, like we're doing really well harvesting food. Like we should definitely turn this into
I'll
something.
tell
Did
you what,
pepper sauce?
there's a TikTok where I
Hmm.
actually made this pepper sauce on the TikTok the first time. So I had mangoes, I
Hmm.
had pineapple from the garden, I had peppers, I had onions, garlic, I had everything I needed. I said, I'm gonna make a pepper sauce. And I made the TikTok, I made it, and then my son came and tried it, and he was like, this is good. And then I had to like remember exactly how much of everything I put in it because I had to get the bottler to make it.
Right.
So what I had to do was I had to like watch the tape back
Hmm.
and calculate the measurement of grams of each ingredient in it.
Wow.
And then once I was able to do that, they cooked it up. They had me taste it. I said, yeah, that's it. So basically, the difference between the two is the hot has Scotch bonnet and 3 times the amount of Carolina Reaper, and then the not so hot doesn't have Scotch bonnet and it's got 1/3 the amount of Carolina Reaper.
Very nice. Wow. That's super dope. So that was just spontaneous.
It was
Uh,
very spontaneous. And I first made this, I think it was probably like September of last
mhm.
year.
Of like
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, right away we started going on it, and um, we launched our first bottles were produced right before Thanksgiving. And we sold about 1,800 bottles of sauce already.
Goodness gracious. Nah, you're really doing you're doing the thing. Like absolutely. Like, oh man. You're winning. I love that for you, and it's amazing. And we have to take our hands off you because again, like I can't stress enough to any of my followers that came in and haven't seen you before. Like he's not somebody that studied horticulture or anything like that at a university or anything. Like he really just,
Yeah.
for lack of better
Well,
words,
I
like
do have a biology degree,
yeah, yeah,
so I
yeah,
do have a
yeah,
biology degree.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But like I said, when I planted my first mango tree 8 years ago, we moved into this house. I planted a mango tree. I could not have picked a mango tree out of a lineup. I didn't know anything about trees, anything about plants. Like I
Mhm.
literally, that was the first tree I'd ever tried to plant. And from there, it just went to like a second mango tree, then an avocado tree, then another mango, then a lychee, then a Barbados cherry, then a mango. And it just
Right.
snowballed from there. Now I've got over 100 fruit trees back there.
That's man, I'm here for it. I love it. Um, you're an anomaly, because a lot of people they're like, man, like I can't do this, that, and the third because I don't have enough hours in a day. But you're proving that there are, and then some. Because
There's
like
lots of hours in a day. There's lots of hours in a day.
Mhm.
You just got to use them wisely.
um, so we got to know about you. We got to know about your business. We learned about. Could you tell us the name of your the clothing brand, the
Oh, it's Permaculture Life,
Permaculture Life?
and you can find it at andrethefarmer.com.
Okay.
It used to be permaculturelife.com, but I think I do have two people that are partners with me. One of them is a good friend of mine from a long time, and the other one is my
Mhm.
old office manager at my office at my orthodontic office. Because I'm not a nitty gritty person. I'm not a details
Right.
person. So I said, you know what? I like to do the big stuff. I like to do I'll sell the sauce, I'll promote the sauce, I'll do all that stuff. But I need someone that's going to do the paperwork, someone that's going to get us make our LLC, someone that's going to, fill out the forms, do our tax stuff,
Right.
because I don't want to do that stuff. So I'm lazy for stuff I don't want to do. For
100%.
stuff I want to do, I will work all day on that stuff if I want to do it.
100%.
But
That's
thank
dope.
you. Somebody just purchased the sauce right now. I think it's probably something from someone from on there. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I guarantee you'll love it. And I'll say, if you don't like it, send it back, and I'll give you your money back. Like there's no way you won't like it. It's impossible not to like. I
Well,
guarantee it.
I'm gonna go ahead once we get off of live here and have I want one of each. Say, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I'm gonna try it
And let me know
and
what you
and
think.
post it for
Let me
everyone.
know what you think. I'm
Absolutely.
guarantee you're gonna love
Okay.
it. It's objectively good.
All right. No, that sounds good. Where can everyone find you on other social media sites? And if you want to
I'm
promote
Andre
anything.
the Farmer everywhere. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Andre the Farmer. Yep, and andrethefarmer.com. So it's very simple. One thing everywhere. I'm thinking about going on to Blue Sky because people are saying that Blue Sky is supposed to be really good. Or so maybe I'll try it. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
And you're located in what part of Florida?
I'm in Orlando area.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the west side of Orlando. So if you're a local, and I do tours of the garden here. So if anyone wants to come by and do a walk through the garden, come on by. Like I have people come by all the time, and you will leave with handfuls of cuttings and plants and stuff like that. Anything that I have is open to anybody. Like if I have it, you can have it.
Alrighty. And I just kind of want to correct somebody in the comments there. It's andrethefarmer.com. They put underthefarmer.com.
Oh yeah, yeah. andrethefarmer.com.
So sounds good. Is there anything you want to promote or shout out before we get out of here?
Oh, one other thing.
Yep.
I have another show
Mhm.
called Fire Talk. It's on
Okay.
YouTube. It's called Fire Talk TV, and I'm the host, and it's a bunch of men around the fire pit, and we actually have a real film crew that films it,
Wow.
and we talk about things like mental health, raising kids, role of a man. We have 4 episodes that are released. It's Fire Talk TV 1 on YouTube. We're right now trying to package and actually sell this show to one of the networks, but it's called Fire Talk TV, and it's on Fire Talk TV 1.
Alrighty. No worries. That sounds great. I'll go ahead and check that out tonight as well. So my father actually said that they're going to be down in Orlando this weekend. So hey, if you guys are
I'm going to
around,
be offshore. I'm going to be 100 miles
yep, he's going
offshore
to be
this weekend.
fishing. So you guys will have to catch him next time. Perfect. Fire Talk TV.
Fire Talk TV 1 on YouTube. Oh, my buddy
Fire
shared it.
Talk TV 1. Got it. Perfect. Andre, thank you again for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me,
Um,
man. I really appreciate the platform.
Absolutely. Thank you for everything that you do. Again, my name is Kwan, Chef Kwan, J Kwan. This is Andre the Farmer, our very first guest for season 2 of Culinarily Kwan. Um, I love it. I'll see you guys next time, and thank you all again.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Adios.
Thank you, Chef.